I have top of the hour now. We're going to go ahead and get started with this comeback yoga class. Comeback Yoga is a nonprofit organization based out of Denver, Colorado, serving veterans, active duty military, and your support team. My name is Tonya. This all levels class is designed for you if you've never done yoga or if you have done yoga and looking for some variations of yoga. Today, we're going to be focusing on standing postures. So, be a lot of leg work. We'll be doing some core work as well, but mostly working the mobility and the strength in the lower body. So, the hips and the legs. All right, so we're going to go and get started. So, if you have a yoga mat, you're going to want to grab that. If you have a blanket that you like to use for your practice, you can grab that. And again, for the standing poses, it might be helpful to use a block or two. So, again, focusing on lower body mobility and strength in the lower body today. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start on our back. If you want to use something for under your head, you can. So, once you get down on your back, your knees can be bent, your feet out as wide as the mat or at hip distance, whatever is the most comfortable. And just kind of notice the length of your body here, as well as the parts of your body that are supported by the floor. And just tune in. We'll take 3 deep breaths here. You can place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. And let's breathe in. If the nose is clear, we're breathing in through the nose. Inhaling and exhaling. Slow, deep breaths in and slow, smooth breaths out. One more time. Here, you're just going to rock those knees side to side, kind of feeling it maybe in the hips, maybe in your back, just going side to side. All right, now taking just one knee into your chest, you can hold on to the back of your leg here, just at arm's length. I want you to have that leg just at arm's length. And if it means that you need to have your head up onto a pillow or blanket, do so that you're not holding your head up. You want to have that head down. And you're going to push your leg into your hands as you pull back a little bit. So there's a little bit of resistance. And then take your other leg and just kind of hover it up off of the floor. It can be an inch or two off the floor, or it can be way up off of the floor, whatever feels the best for your body. And we'll hold for 3, 2, and 1. And now bring that knee in a little tighter into your chest, hovering the other leg up off the floor, but focus on your abdominals here. So we're not trying to, or if you notice your back lifting up off the floor, it is pulling on your back, then maybe your leg needs to go up higher. And so we'll hold this in here for 3, 2, and 1. Now straighten that leg up to the ceiling. Your bottom leg can maybe come down a little bit or it can stay up high. We're going to stretch out through the heels for 3, 2, and 1. Now bring both knees into your chest, maybe lifting your head and shoulders up just once into the legs. All right, and then come on down. Let's switch sides. So clasping your hands behind the back of your leg somewhere and pushing your leg into your hands. Your other leg can stay on the floor or you can hover it a little or a lot, focusing on your core. So if you feel this into your back again, remember to bring the leg up higher for 3, 2, and 1. All right. And now you're going to bring that knee in closer to your chest. Keep the bottom leg floating if that feels all right. And hold for 3, 2, and 1. Now straighten up that top leg, keeping the hands behind your leg, pushing out through the heels for 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to do just some little bicycles, kind of. You're going to hold on to the back of one leg as you bring it in and then switch. So just kind of like more like it's a push pull. So if you want to, you can lift your head and shoulders up to your knee, just waking up that lower body here. Maybe your head comes back down. We don't need to strain the neck unnecessarily. So keep going, starting to really maybe even build some energy in the body. Your legs don't have to go straight down. They can go even up towards the ceiling, or you could even tap the toes down to the floor. All right, let's do just a little bit longer here, going as fast or as slow as you'd like for 3 more seconds, 2, and 1. All right, let's stretch it out all the way, full body stretch through those arms and through those legs. Like a little bit of just a big stretch here, maybe even a little bit side to side, just like you're waking up in the morning. All right, great. Let's roll to one side. So you might want to now here have something for under your head. And I'm going to stack those knees right out in front. So again, just building some strength in the lower body, and then we're going to work up into our standing poses. All right, so keep your feet together and your knees are going to separate up, down, up, down, lift, lift. We'll do 5 more till we start to fatigue the outer hip a little bit here. 2 and 1. Good. Now send both legs straight. Last little warm up here on our side. Take your leg towards the ceiling, in and down. Just a big circle here. Option is to keep that bottom leg bent if you like. Just working this leg into a big circle. And then let's go the other way. You can even wake up your ankle here. All right, good. Okay. And let's roll to our stomach, almost like a crawl. You're going to come onto your forearms here. Parallel those forearms to a Sphinx pose. You're going to lift your chest forward, point out through the toes, and really maybe even come up onto the hands here. Otherwise, stay down low. All right, so from the Sphinx position, we're going to come into a forearm plank. So you're going to lift your ribs first, then you're going to lift your hips, and then you're going to lift maybe your thighs, and then maybe your knees lift. As you lift the knees, drop the tailbone, push down into those forearms. And we'll hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Lower the knees down, hook your knees towards your elbows, and then come back into child's pose. Your hips moving towards the heels. Notice maybe the side you've been working on feels a little maybe more open, warmed up, and ready to go. We'll take 3 more breaths here, feeling the stretch in your back, ankles, maybe knees, hips. Where do you notice the stretch? Where do you notice sensation in the body? Last breath. Sometimes this is considered a resting pose. So at any time during our lesson today, if you feel like you want to come back to that, then you can. All right, let's come to our other side for that little warm-up sequence. Coming onto your side, bringing those knees out in front and feet together. And here we go, lifting that top leg and down and up and down, lift and lower, lift, lower. 5 more. Let's start to really fatigue it. So really finding some energy, some muscle tone, some strength for 2 and 1. All right, good. And then either straightening out the legs or stacking. Bring the leg up, down, just a big circle, just doing what you can. Maybe it's not very big. All right, let's go the other way, circling around. All right, folks, let's do it. We're coming back onto our stomach, into that forearm plank. You can have the outside edges of the hand pressing down or the palms pressing down. Either way, here we go. So you can stay here, or if you start to feel like you could start to lift your ribs, maybe your hips, then maybe your knees lift, push down into the forearms for 3, 2, and 1. Bring those knees down to the floor. We'll move the hips back and bring those hands maybe behind the head. Child's pose. Your heels can be lifted or lowered, toes tucked or pointed. For 3 more breaths here, just drop those hips down, stretching out the back, stretching out the sides, the hips, the toes. 2 more breaths. All right, let's come into now a downward dog. So those arms go forward, fingers press down. Gonna lift those hips up and into a downward dog. Pedal your feet, lifting one and then the other, going back and forth, side to side. All right. And then walk your feet and hands together, coming over your legs into a forward fold. Bend your knees enough to rest your chest onto your thighs and grab opposite elbows or shoulders here. And moving your head side to side and up and down, back and forth. All right. Bring your hands to your legs, chest lifts, open up to standing. And let's take a few moments here to just regain. We've been at a lower elevation now for some time, and now we're at our highest elevation, the full length of our body. So let's go ahead and find the feet as a stable base, just like a stable foundation to any building or a mountain. So mountain pose is this is often referred to. So find your tallest mountain. So you're standing up tall, your legs are strong, you're opening your chest, you're bringing those arms out, maybe palms open, just feeling the lift of your chest, the shoulders down and relaxed, your head lifting, back of the head lifting. So you're finding that strength as well as ease, your whole body alive with sensation and your breath smooth and regular. For 3 more, 2 more, and 1. Wonderful. Okay. So let's come up with those arms, reach up, look up maybe to the ceiling, and then come into a chair. Your hips are going to come down low, your knees behind the toes. So make sure you can see those toes. Reach up with those arms. Maybe the arms are separated, maybe your fingers reaching away. And let's maybe come a little lower. You want to still be able to see those toes. You can be up higher if you like. Let's hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Come all the way back up. Breath out as you lower those arms down. Okay, good. So starting to build up that strength. Okay, let's repeat. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, lower into your chair. Maybe you can go a little bit lower without there being strain. A little bit of effort, though, here is going to build some more strength, but we know that this isn't permanent. We're here for 2 more breaths. And last one, coming all the way up. And lower those arms. So, because we're working primarily on the lower body, if you find that you're straining a lot in the upper body, then I'm going to show you a different arm position. So, I'll show you from the front. Bringing those arms up overhead and then exhaling, lowering the hips. So you don't want those knees to collapse in if your feet are out wide. You want to keep those feet and knees about the same distance. Okay, now you can bring your arms into cactus arms if your shoulders felt strained. Maybe bring those arms up. Maybe relax the arms to your lap. Whatever it is that you feel most in line with. Let's hold for 2 more breaths. And 1. Come all the way up and lower those arms. All right, folks, let's move on to some more standing here and more standing strength. So inhale, take your arms up, come into your chair pose. Now we'll move on a little faster. Take your hands to one leg. You're going to push down into that leg, and your other leg is going to go back. Drop the heel down. Warrior one, push down into those feet as you reach your arms up. Maybe you take those cactus arms or goal posts, like a football goal post. And then bring your arms back up. Hands to your front leg. And then step forward. Coming into our chair. And then up to standing. All right, how'd you do? Okay, ready? Let's do the other side. Inhale, arms up. Drop back into your chair or thunderbolt. Take your hands to the other leg. Push down. Send the other leg back. And drop your heel. Here we are, warrior one. Reaching arms up. If you want to, make those goalpost arms. Push down into both feet so you feel that stability underneath. Bring your arms back up and then hands to that front leg. Tip forward and then step forward into your chair. There we go. And then lower the arms, straighten up. Okay, are we ready to move on? Let's repeat. And then we're going to find another pose after that. So here we are. Inhale, send those arms up. Exhale, come down into your chair. Hands onto one leg. Step the opposite leg back. Drop that foot, push down, arms rise. Now we're going to bring the arms back into an airplane. So sending your chest forward, arms sweep back, pushing down into both feet. Okay. All right. Now bring your hands back to that front thigh. Step forward. Here we are into our chair. And then come all the way up. All right, folks. Let's repeat. Inhale, taking arms up. Exhale, into chair. Hands onto your other leg. And step back. Foot down, heel down. Arms rise. Pushing down into those feet. Really grow strong. Now reach forward and bring those arms back. Airplane. Your chest moving forward. Your shoulders drawing back. Your arms enlivened with strength. Hands back to that front leg. Step forward and chair. And inhale, back up. And then releasing those arms down to your sides. Okay. One more in this sequence. So here's where it might be useful to have a block. You could have a block. You could have a stool. You could have a chair. Whatever, even a piece of furniture or a wall, anything like that could be helpful. Okay, so we're going to be moving into kind of a variation of warrior three. Okay, you could even have two blocks. Okay, all right, here we go. Inhale and then exhale, chair. Okay, clasping hands coming onto one thigh. Maybe it's the thigh that's closest to me. And then step your other leg back. Back foot comes down. So you're pushing down into that front leg. Bring your arms up. Now let's take them back. Okay. All right. Now you're going to bring your hands to your thigh again. Here's a challenge. I'm going to bring the back knee in behind. So it's like a little knee to knee. Okay. And then your hands can come to the blocks or to the chair. And then send that leg straight back. Good. Now bring your knee back to the other knee just behind. So that front knee can be bent. If you want to, you can challenge yourself. No blocks. No, your hands to your heart. And then send your leg back. And let's do one more. Knee in and back. Ooh. Okay, good. And bringing your feet under your hips. Let's fold over our legs, stretching out those hamstrings, that is. Okay. Come all the way up to standing and then bringing your hands to your chest. Okay, last or second side. And then we'll repeat. So we'll just do introduce the second side to that sequence, and then we'll repeat the sequence one more because this is how we get better, stronger, and more resilient. All right, chair pose. Lowering those hips. Maybe noticing something on the floor, noticing tracking sensation. Hands onto your leg. Back to the leg furthest away from me now. You're going to step the front leg back. Press down. Inhale. Take your arms up. Push down into those feet. Reach up through those arms. Now bring your arms back as you hinge forward. So you're growing really long, extending. You're looking to bring your head to where the wall and the ceiling meet. That's it. Okay, hands maybe to the blocks or to your front leg for stability. Lift your back leg up off the floor. Tuck the knee into the other knee. Now send it back. Maybe your hands on the blocks here. You got it. Bring the knee in. One more time. Send it back and bring it in. Nice job, folks. Lower your foot down, chair, and then rise. Whew, that's a tough class today, huh? We got this. Let's just come into a forward fold, stretch it out, stretching out those hamstrings in the back. And then we're going to do one more round. And then we're working to the floor for some stretching. How about some pigeon poses today, folks? All right, let's bring it up. All the way up, stretch it up, and bring those hands down. Okay, let's take a moment of recovery before we move on to our final round. So just kind of feeling this breath slowing down, standing up tall. And I want you to think about your core muscles here. So as you exhale, breathe out through your nose this time. Your mouth. Breathe out through your mouth, making a shushing sound to activate those abdominals. Two more times. You feel your whole body become alive with sensation as you do this. One more time. All right, good. Let's go. Here we go. Final round. Inhale, arms up, make that shushing sound as you lower the hips. Okay, hand to the thigh closest to me. Your other leg goes back. Inhale, those arms come up. So we're moving just a little bit faster. Exhale, arms back, chest forward. Hands onto your thigh or to those blocks or hands free. Knee comes in behind the other. Float it back and bring it in. Float it back. Your standing leg can go straighter. And then last one, knee comes in. And let's go ahead and touch down. Chair pose. And then to standing. Whew. How we doing, folks? How we doing? Final round. Inhale through the nose and then exhale out through the mouth. Hands onto the other leg furthest away from me. And then your leg steps back. Warrior one. Bringing the arms up and arms back. Coming off the ground, knee to knee. Bending that knee. Move your leg back. Maybe you got those blocks underneath. Knee to knee. Back. And knee to knee. Last knee back. Good. And then bringing your foot underneath your hips, chair. And then to standing. All right, folks. Whew, we made it through. Let's come to the ground now for some stretching. You won't need those blocks. Inhale, arms come up. Let's just fold forward, stretching out the legs and the back. Hands to the floor, or you could use the blocks to make your arms a little longer. Here, nod your head back and forth, side to side. Step back plank pose, maybe coming to your forearms, knees down, and then lower your chest. Coming into cobra or an upward dog, and taking it back to child's pose. Those knees going out wide, your hips towards your heels. Rest your head on the arms, the hands, or the mat. Let those knees maybe support your torso, your shoulders, or go out wider so that there's room for the soft tissue between the legs. Letting the hips stretch, the low back stretch. All right, come on up. Take one knee towards the wrist. So you can be in a 90-90, or you can bring the hip square and pulling this knees hip back and maybe coming down onto the forearms for pigeon. Your back leg, your toes can be curled towards the knees, or you can point your foot back. So track sensation here. Where do you feel like you're getting a stretch that is satisfying? Is there discomfort though? Somewhere, maybe some adjustments that might be needed. We're here for another minute or so as we drop into this really nice stretch for the hip, for that back leg. I did a lot for the hips and the legs today. So now we get rewarded with stretches for those hips and legs. So focus on breath and sensation. Maybe you find you can drop down a little more. You find more space in the body for breath. You find the ability to move more into those spaces. Let's take 3 more breaths here, noticing where there's resistance, difficulties letting go, the mind wandering, getting lost. All right, let's go. Let's bring that back leg up and around for a twist, but it's also going to work the outer hip. So you're going to bring your back hand around to grab your foot, send your leg straight across and maybe to a diagonal, and then reach your opposite arm back. Notice what's on the wall behind you. Maybe you notice something on the floor. Pick out a favorite object or color or texture that's within your surroundings. As you look back over that shoulder, all right, coming on around, we're going to bring this knee now on top. So, option is to straighten out your bottom leg and then slide the knee on top so the foot comes outside of the hip. If this still puts on too much pressure on the knees or something, then you can elevate your hip onto a blanket. The other thing I like to suggest is to kind of take that soft tissue and just move it back a little bit. You have a little bit more space then for the pelvis to tilt forward. And then we'll come forward a little bit. You can use those fingertips to push down into the floor behind you, your chest moving forward. If you have the space or the capacity today, then walk yourself forward and come down a little or a lot. So, working again, rewarding ourselves with these hip stretches, good for the back as well. We'll be here for a minute as well. So, we've gotten into different parts of our hip here, coming down, forward and down. All right, folks, let's come on up. All right, so the top knee is now going to become the bottom knee. So that's going to come forward. Your other leg comes back. So here's our 90-90 as an option coming down this way. Still get a nice stretch for that hip and back. Otherwise, your leg goes straight back, and then you work that knee out wide as you stretch your leg back. This foot can either be up high if your foot is flexed, or you can tuck it back with your toe pointed. You want to have that knee coming out wide so that your hips are more square and your back leg is supporting or supported, maybe even. You can take one of those blocks if you like also and place it underneath a hip if that hip just does not want to come down. Making sure that you're tracking sensation, particularly on the knee. We don't want to strain the knee, the ligaments around the knee. We'll just go ahead and settle in here for another minute. Finding breath sensation. Sometimes the tension goes into the shoulders, so notice if you're holding it in your shoulders, maybe your jaw. So we kind of scan the whole body in a lot of these poses that were held for longer periods of time to notice where we're feeling the most sensation. This brings us back into our bodies when maybe we've been dissociated from our bodies. Let's take about 3 more breaths here, smooth and regular. Deep and complete. All right, let's come on upright. Bring that back leg around, grabbing the outside of the foot with the back hand, and you can keep your knee bent. If you sit up tall, push your foot into your hand, and from this upright position, you may go a little straighter, your other arm going out and back. Again, maybe looking over your shoulder, noticing what is on the wall behind you, next to you, beside you. Picking out the texture, maybe of a plant, color on the wall, a favorite object. As you push your foot into your hand, you're getting a stretch for your chest here as well. Lots going on in this posture, huh? All right, let's come on around. That top leg now stacks on the bottom. If this puts a lot of pressure on that bottom knee, then you're straightening out that bottom knee, right? And stacking those knees, fingertips behind. And again, remembering that little bit of adjustment we gave ourselves in that last one, we can do that here. Just give us a little bit more a safe positioning for the pelvis. And we'll come forward and down. Maybe coming even more down. You meet yourself where you're at today as you descend. All right, let's come on up. And last um, two stretches here. So that top leg, you're just going to bring it out to the side, and your other leg is going to go straight. So you have already sensation maybe on the inner side of the leg. And we'll turn towards the bent knee here. Your other hand resting on your straight leg, reaching your arm up and over for a side bend. Bringing that arm, maybe sliding your foot down or your hand down, towards your foot. Opening up that side. That's really even turning your chest towards the ceiling. Really feeling it maybe even in the front, a little bit in the sides, and of course in the back. You can even move your arm a little bit. See how it's all connected. Yeah. All right. And then come upright and let's switch sides. Turning, getting that opening through your chest, and then your hand comes down. You might notice this side is a little bit easier or more um, open. Maybe there's more sensation on this side. Maybe you have, like this side, I can easily reach my foot. The other side, I couldn't. It's like, there's no way. So just notice these little things. Sometimes yoga is about our proportions. So, how long our arms are in relationship to our torso or to our legs. There's all these different factors that come in. And then, of course, if you've had surgeries or injuries or these kinds of things, maybe even genetics. All right, folks, let's come up. And we got one last seated stretch here, and then we're moving into our final 5-minute relaxation. So your legs are going to go out wide. And here I suggest again, you have a little seat. Maybe you're on a blanket or a pillow, and just adjusting yourself with your hands so you get a little bit more tilt. You're going to push down into your fingers so your chest comes forward. You're going to stretch out through the heels and just track sensations. We're not going forcing ourselves to our end range. We want to find a little sensation and we move into it a little. And then we breathe. And then we breathe and maybe we find a little bit more sensation. So we take our time, just like anything. There's no need to rush. Nature does not rush herself. So our body is nature, and there's no need to rush these things. And our breath is smooth and regular. Take 3 more breaths here, letting go in the shoulders, letting go in your neck. All right, and coming on up. All right, grabbing the back of those legs. All right, yogis. So you have an option here. You can stay seated like this if you'd like to, sitting on maybe on a cushion or a chair to finish out the next 5 minutes of our class. You could also lay down onto your back. You could be on your side. And wherever you are, we're going to finish it up though with just a little bit of neck stretches. So you can just kind of circle your neck, your head. And then we are complete here. But if you don't feel complete and need something else, go ahead and take that something else, do that something else, be that something else. Little under 5 minutes now to relax. I'll take you through a guided meditation on how to find that inner resource that I read about earlier in the lesson. So once you feel settled, just noticing the surroundings, Noticing sounds, smells, colors, textures if your eyes are open. If your eyes are closed, you go to the inner landscape and notice what you hear, what you see. And now I'd like to invite you to take yourself to a place or an activity where you feel really at home, where you feel at peace, where you feel at ease and relaxed. Maybe it's a place that you've been, an activity that you've done in the past, something you're doing now, or some place that you'd like to go, or an activity that you've always wanted to do. And drop in to how drop into all the details, about this place or this activity, colors, sounds, textures. Are there any smells? And then dropping into the felt sense within your body when you notice all these details. Where do you feel this felt sense of well being in your body? Does it have a particular sensation or a color? Is it warm? Is it cool? Is it tingling? Is it smooth? What are the things you notice about it? And this is a felt sense. This is a place within you that you can call upon at any time. This lives within you. You can call upon it when you're happy, when you're feeling good. You can call upon it when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling anxious or unhappy. So, this place, this inner resource, is part of you that is your inner guide that can take you to, or that can guide you to peace, inner peace, and well being. So, stay with this a few more breaths. And you can, of course, write down if you'd like where this place is, how this made you feel. As we begin to emerge now into the waking world, of course, you can stay where you are, otherwise, moving your fingers and toes and emerging little by little. Thank you so much for being here today. It's been truly an honor to guide you through this practice. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so now. We'd love to have you as part of our comeback yoga team, our clients that like to do yoga. And we hope that you got something out of this class today. And I'll see you next time. Take good care.